Pillow and whoop coffee. Hello, welcome. It's coffee time. We're gonna drink coffee. I need to figure out an intro, like one that's good. Drink some coffee with me. I'm gonna start this over. Welcome. It's evening coffee. I'm Adam. Drink some coffee with me. It's a good time. Don't worry about it. If you've watched any of my old videos from when I was in high school, you will know that I never wanted to get old. I was terrified of it, in fact. I had a whole, mid-childhood crisis when I was, 16, 15, somewhere around there. Because it's I'm getting old, and I'm not a fan of that. Because if I could, I would stay 16 forever. Because I had just the right amount of responsibilities versus freedoms. Where, I had my license, and I could drive and go places. And I had a job, but it was I worked 3 or 4 days a week, and that's... I don't know. So I had money and I could go places, but I didn't need to pay a crap ton of taxes or for college or a house or car loans or anything. So there I was in mid-childhood crisis. But the other day, I caught myself for the first time in my life, literally first time in my life, thinking, I can't wait to get old. Not I want to skip ahead to being 60 or anything, but I'm going to enjoy a lot of the conversations that come with age, with wisdom, with experience, in a way that I'd never anticipated or I'd never looked forward to in the past. So Nas has 2 albums, King's Disease and then King's Disease 2, where he talks about having been one of the forefathers of hip-hop, being there essentially since the beginning, right? And being considered one of the greats since the beginning of his career. And looking back on all of hip-hop nowadays from sort of that perspective of a grandfather looks at his grandchildren, Nas looks at hip-hop with love and sometimes disappointment, but ultimately he wishes the best for it. And he wants desperately to give advice that he wished he had known when he was starting. And it's a beautiful concept, and it's kind of heartbreaking to me, in my opinion. There's one song on King's Disease 2. It's called Moments. I'm going to double check that that's actually the name of the song. Yeah, it's called Moments, where he talks about looking at hip-hop nowadays and knowing that he is not the number one anymore, and seeing all of these other rappers that are coming up and thinking that in his past, he never really had a lot of featured artists on his songs, but he's thinking now he ought to, it really is his responsibility to be handing off the platform to the next people and teaching them how to do it, how to be wise with their money, with their platform, but ultimately respect themselves and respect the art. It's Be Real time. Hold on, one sec. So I was listening to King's Disease 2, specifically the song Moments, and I was thinking, I can't wait for the opportunity to be a stoic old man who has advice to give to someone like me. Because I am the type of person that loves listening to stories and hearing advice from people older than me. Whether or not I actually heed that advice is one thing, and a lot of times I fully acknowledge that the advice comes from the right place, but is actually garbage advice. Just because people are old doesn't mean that they're actually wise, or that it doesn't mean that people take the right lessons from their own stories and circumstances. But I love hearing these sorts of stories, and I can't wait to be an old man talking to someone like me who loves to hear that sort of thing, because I love the history of, I don't know, people's motivations behind things. And right now, I know I don't know that much, but I can't wait for the day when I know something worth sharing. And that's sort of what I talk about a lot in my music as of late, is I know that I don't know a lot. D-List, Muse, and Pendulum are all... D-List is, this is the only thing that I know and love. Hip-hop and Jesus. And if I combine them, where does that get me? Probably nowhere. And then Muse is, what do I talk about in my music? I don't know, dude. And then Pendulum is kind of part 2 of Muse, where it's like, I know that I need to step up my game and say something exquisite. Because I am a guest in the House of Rap, being a white man in a black genre, I know that the genre is not me. I am lucky to be able to be here. Because the genre is defined by the black experience. It was invented by the black community, so I am lucky to be able to have any sort of platform here. And so I feel like because this is not my genre, I really need to step up and prove myself. And I can't afford to do anything less than wonderful. And that's what Pendulum is about. And so you can see the theme in my music as of late of I know I don't know that much and I need to step it up, but I'm sincerely lost there. And I can't wait till the day when I feel like I know something. And maybe that day will never actually come. I don't know. Maybe that day will never come. That's a song idea there. That's a song idea. You see, this is the process. This is why I'm doing this, actually, is so I can get my thoughts out there. And, I already have the thoughts, but I can word it in a new way that I hadn't thought about it really before, and come up with that next evolution of a concept that is the song writing process. The first step in the process is getting the idea. And I have ideas that I know would hypothetically work, but I don't know the right way to frame it, But if I say it in the right way, this is so cool. But I digress. For the first time in my life, I thought, I can't wait to get old. For most of my life, I thought, I don't fear death. I am Christian, I know where I'm going when I die. And so, I didn't want death, but if it happened, so be it. Because I know I'll see Jesus. So I was never afraid of it, and I thought, if I died today, cool, whatever, I've lived a good enough life that, I don't feel like I would be missing out on much. Obviously, there are things that I wouldn't get to do, get married, have kids, whatever. But I feel like up until this point, I haven't skipped out on the things that I need to be doing. I feel generally fulfilled in my life. So, if I were to die right now, I wouldn't hate it that much, But for the first time, I thought, I'm looking forward to the future and what is to come. And I can't wait to get old. And that is such a bizarre concept for me. So you, viewer, maybe the viewer is me in 30 years. Maybe the viewer is a friend of mine from school or high school or something. Maybe the viewer is a person that I've never met or only communicated with online. Hello, whoever is watching this. I guess the advice that I have, I don't know a lot, but what I'm discovering for myself is that when you view life as experiences rather than goals, I think for me at least that is a much more fulfilling mindset. Because if you think, I analyzed my life up until this point, not by have I reached certain goals, but I don't feel like I've missed out on things, That's an experience-oriented thought, right? At least maybe I'm not communicating that well enough, but in my head it's about experiences. And when I look to the future, the things that I'm excited about in the future, everything that I'm thinking of is experience-oriented. I can't wait to talk to people and share wisdom. Whether or not they listen to it at all is one thing, but I want to be able to share the results of my experiences, I suppose. Maybe this isn't really advice so much as it is thoughts on a mindset. Yeah, this vlog is much deeper and more philosophic than yesterday's was. Still gonna try to do this daily. We'll see how that goes. So, cheers to the future. Jesus loves you, don't do drugs, don't die.